cylinders that would screw onto the top of an aluminum lid. We don't sell those. Well, all right, then I'll buy the damn lid. Oh, no, no, ma'am, we don't sell lids. Well, what do I gotta buy the pan? No, we don't sell pans. And he points up, and we sell these collections of pans. So here she has a perfectly workable, suitable pan and lid, but the Bakelite handle has gone bad, and they don't sell those. You got to buy a whole goddamn new set of pans. My mother threw a screaming fit in the store. Okay, now, when I saw these videos of these two ladies on Facebook, I remembered another video of a lady that managed to get a trucker to pull over. I don't know what you would Google to find this, but it is hilarious. So she is screaming up into the window of this semi-tractor, saying, you know, that you cut me off in traffic. No, ma'am, I didn't cut you off in traffic. She's just screaming at this guy, and at some point, she walks out in front of his rig and lies down in the borrow pit and just rolls around in her rage at him cutting her off in traffic and refusing to apologize. Okay, so it occurs to me that I don't know that these two ladies on Facebook are racist. I think they're just fucking crazy. Well, so once upon a time, I went to the district court clerks, and I had an excellent relationship with the court clerks. At Christmas, I brought every single one of them a bottle of champagne, and if they were teetotalers, well, then they got Martinelli's sparkling cider. And, you know, here I come into the courthouse at Christmas time with this great big box of bottles and hand them out to all the ladies. And I was always just extremely polite and friendly to these ladies. And so one day I stopped in and I said, so what I did was court-appointed misdemeanor defense of indigents, people who couldn't pay. So the county would pay me to represent them. And I said, you know, there's 3 other lawyers on this panel, and, you know, you guys kind of owe me. We're good buddies. And so would you mind terribly when you have a female indigent defendant, give him to one of the other 3 guys? You know, give me just the nastiest, meanest men. I'll take them. And my logic is that a man can be guilty of some fairly severe antisocial behavior, and he's still functional. You know, he can carry on a logical conversation, he can hold a job, etc. But a woman who violates a criminal matter other than shoplifting, but, you know, it does something bad, is usually crazy. So I said, you know, please don't give them to me. Oh, God, were they offended. You sexist, racist, or chauvinistic pig. So shrug my shoulders. Maybe I won't bring them any champagne in the future. Go back to my office. Now, I don't know if it's just a coincidence or if they just went through the pile and said, here, let's give this one to Nathan. I get back to my office and I pick up the police report. And it says Officer Friendly was traveling through some back street in Kennewick, and a woman, or a shape, you know, darts out from between cars, and I damn near ran over her. So I stopped my car and I pursued on foot, and I finally find this lady standing and talking to another drunk man. And I said, now listen, lady, you can't be running out from between cars in the dark. And she told me to fuck myself very much. And so I took her by the arm and I said, now listen, if I can't get a promise from you that you're going to go home and go to bed and be quiet, I might have to arrest you for drunken and disorderly conduct. And she told me to get my fucking hands off of her. And I says, well, darling, I'm going to have to arrest you. And she said, if you arrest me, I am going to shit my pants. And he writes in his report, whereupon number one, see, that's how they refer to the perp and the victim, or the witnesses and the victims, is number one, number two, number three. Whereupon number one shat her pants. So he took her down and he booked her. And that's the end of the police report. So I called the cop, what about this? And he says, yeah, in the morning, we put her in the drunk tank and she'd passed out. So she slept all night with a load in her pants. And in the morning, they took her out in front of the judge. He said, we used 11-foot poles to push her out in front of the judge. It took me about 20 seconds to figure out 11-foot poles. I'm not sure I get that. Anyway, so, yeah, I am sorry, but these two ladies on Facebook, racist? Yeah, maybe, but I think more, they're just nuts. And my dear, sweet, sainted mother, I think she was nuts. And a lot of these women, they've just lived, my dad was an asshole to her. Now, he loved her. I got to tell you one more story. I once said to my brother and sister-in-law that I figured that my dad told my mother at least once a week that she was a dumb shit. And my sister-in-law says, once a week? He told her that once a day. So, and like I've told you about the driving lessons. Well, so she was, 90, and he was 94. And so I took him out to dinner, and my mother had been into her Alzheimer's for about 15 years. So after dinner, he had to take her to the locked ward, and he said that his room was upstairs. And so he said, I gotta tuck Lois in. So I sat out in the hallway about 15 minutes. How long does it take to tuck somebody in? So after 15 minutes, I go take a peek. My dad is sitting on the side of the bed holding my mom's hand, and he's telling her about good times that they used to have. Hikes, visits to Mount Rainier, friends they hung out with. And what? He's talking my mother to sleep? So I got out in the hallway and I said to the nurse, what is going on with my dad? He's in there sweet talking my mom to sleep. What is that? And she says, yeah, he comes down here every night and talks her to sleep, and we think it is just the sweetest thing we've ever seen. My mouth hangs open. My dad? So, Ain't Love Strange? There's a song by Paul Thorne. I urge you to look it up. Ain't Love Strange. And anyway, what I'm trying to say this morning is that when you see a woman that's just like unhinged and acting like a racist, maybe not. Maybe she's at the bottom of our food chain because she's overweight. Maybe she's married to a complete asshole and every once in a while just has to lash out because she can't lash out at him. There's all kind, and if you're doing court-appointed indigent defense, just try. Go to the courthouse and ask. Just try to get them to give the women to somebody else. Ain't gonna happen. Milo, I want you to know I really appreciate your support this morning. So those of you who want to see the hot tub curmudgeon continue, I got to hear from you. I want to know that somebody out there in YouTube land is listening. Good morning, and thank you very much. One last look at the lake. Is it not the most beautiful place to sit in a hot tub and contemplate the mysteries of life, love, and women?